All right. Chelsea have agreed on a deal to sign Xabi Alonso. He will be the new Chelsea coach for next season. So I feel like, for me, this is probably the first time that every Chelsea fans will be happy with the appointment of a coach under this new ownership. Because since this, blue coat, since they have become the Chelsea owners, I feel like they haven't really signed that kind of coach that the Chelsea fans will be comfortable with. When they signed Pochettino, some of the Chelsea fans were not happy with that appointment. When they signed Enzo Maresca, some of the Chelsea fans were not happy with that appointment because they said championship coach. They signed him from Leicester City. He was a championship coach. He has never managed in any top league before. He has never managed in any top club before, right? And then when they signed Leon Rochinio, the same thing, saying there's no experience. They brought him because he is working for them, from Strasbourg. So many of the Chelsea fans were never happy or have never been happy with the signings of coaches that Bluco have been bringing into the club. But I feel like this is the one, this is the one that every single Chelsea fans, probably 90-95% of Chelsea fans will be really, really happy with disappointment because I feel like Xabi Alonso is a top coach. I feel like he is going to that level where he can become an elite football coach. Obviously, there are some coaches that I put higher than him, like Pep, Luis Enrique, Klopp. Those ones are on their own. But I feel like Xabi Alonso, obviously, is still a very young coach. He's 44 years old. He's still a very young coach. I think he will get to that level, you know, of Pep, those kind of coaches. So, yeah, I feel like this is the appointment that Chelsea fans have been wanting this ownership to do. Go get a top coach. Go get a coach that can put this team together. Go and get a coach that can compete for the league. Like I said, this is really, really, good appointment for the club. But the only way that Chelsea will succeed under Xavi Alonso is only if they back him up. They back him up with the kind of players that he will want. Because I'm 100% sure that this coach, this ownership, they haven't been going for this kind of coaches. They haven't. They haven't been going for those kind of coaches that, I mean, Xabi Alonso, we knew what he did with Bayer Leverkusen. Won the league with Bayer Leverkusen. This is a club that have never won the league before. Don't forget, Leverkusen have never won the Bundesliga before, ever in their history. But he went there, he won the league. Before he won the league, he went there middle of the season when Leverkusen was struggling to go down. And then from there, he brought them. They finished, I think, 6th or 7th in the league. They went to the Europa League, right, the next season. And then that very season, he won the league with Bayer Leverkusen. The first time in their history they did that. They won the league. Went unbeaten. He also won the German Cup. So that's telling you how good he is as a coach. He is a top manager. Xabi Alonso. So for me, this is a really, really interesting appointment. But like I said, the only way I think he will succeed. When I mean succeed, I'm not even saying finishing in the top four. I'm talking about winning the Premier League. Because with Xabi Alonso, Chelsea can win the Premier League 100%. They can win the Premier League. So the only way he can achieve that, winning the Premier League, winning the Champions League, is only if they back him up. They back him up by giving him the kind of players that he will want. Quite unfortunate that Chelsea will not be in the Champions League next season. Because of Chelsea probably will finish 10th or 9 or 8 next season. The opportunity that Chelsea should have had to, find themselves in European competition next season could have been winning the FA Cup, but they lost the FA Cup to Manchester City. So that avenue is closed now. Probably if they finish 8th in the league, they could be in the Conference League. Now, I'm not even comfortable playing in that competition. I'm not comfortable for Chelsea to play in that competition, but yeah, if they finish 8th, I think they can probably find themselves in the Conference League. Depending how the season ends for other teams that will be above them. So yeah, this is really, really an interesting appointment. So the only way Xabi Alonso will succeed is only if they back him up. Succeed, I mean winning the league, winning the Champions League, always competing for the league, because he will compete for the league if they back him up 100%. He will compete because he's a top coach that knows what he's doing. Now, Chelsea have some good players, some top players for me that need that, and then they need a coach that will put them together. Obviously, those top players that Chelsea have, they still need some other top players to come into the team and help them. Rhys James for me is the top player. He's a world-class right back. For me, the best right back in the world is James. We have Levi Colwill that I think is a very good centre back. Yes, this season he hasn't really played because of injury, but if another top centre back pair with Levi Colwill, you can see the best from Levi Colwill. Obviously, Cucurella is the top player. Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, Joao Pedro. We have some, very good players. This team, the ownership just have to back Xabi Alonso with some very good signings this coming summer. It will be interesting to see if they will just probably shift from their policy, if they will shift from their pattern in terms of getting some players that are not even good enough. Imagine Chelsea signing Garnacho, Jamie Gittins. Those players are not the kind of players that Chelsea normally signs. If Chelsea want to compete, those are not the kind of players that will make you compete. So let's just hope that this ownership will do the right thing this summer by giving Xabi Alonso the kind of players that he will want. Because for me, like I said, if they back him the right way, giving him the kind of players that he will want, I honestly think he will compete for the league. Probably not this coming season, but Xabi Alonso, as a Chelsea coach, if they back him up, will 100% compete for the league. 100%, I am 100% sure that he can win the league. That is, if they can back him up. So, but for me, yeah, this is really, really an interesting news. This is really, really an interesting appointment. Like I said, this is the first time that this board member, this ownership have probably shift from how they do things and do things the right way by making the first step of signing a coach of Xabi Alonso in standard, and then they have to continue by giving him the kind of players that that he can work with. So if they can give him the kind of player that he can work with, 100% he will be successful as a Chelsea coach. And for me, I also feel like Xabi Alonso could be that coach that could probably stay very, very long for Chelsea, like 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. Just like has Pep. Look at Pep. You know how long he has stayed for City, like 9 years or so. He has been the Manchester City coach. Mikel Arteta have been with Arsenal for like 6, 7, going to 7 years now. We know how long Klopp spent, at Liverpool. So I feel like this could be the coach that probably will stay long as a Chelsea coach. And the only way he will do that, the only way he will stay long is if he's successful, obviously. But then, for him to be successful, he needs the backing of the coach, of the ownership, of the board members. Even if things are not really going fine, because there's some time in the season where the team might struggle, you back him up as well. They don't have to come out in media, start, talking so many things. You back him up, believe in the process of the coach, believe in his system, back him up with players, back him up with not, interfering in his business in terms of managing the team. So if they can do those things, I think Xabi Alonso will be successful being a Chelsea coach. He will win. Chelsea will come back, competing, winning those big titles, because I feel like we have some of the players already. We just need to add 1 or 2 players for the club to be on that level again. So yeah, what's your thought? What's your opinion of Xabi Alonso being the next Chelsea coach? If you're Chelsea fans, your thought, your opinion, you let me know.